Yep. There we go.
Yeah,
This would be great. So I'll cut it, splice it, dice it,
do your
piece
thing.
it, and you can do the same if you want. That way, I'm on your. At least you're on my social media. I want to put you on my YouTube channel
Okay.
and use some of the stuff on other spaces too.
Once you start getting a decent amount of content,
Hmm.
um, man, I think it might have been $40 it cost me on Fiverr. I sent some clips and some images. I said I need a 30-second intro for podcast. A couple
Nice.
days later, fired it right on over, and you'll get a few revisions. It'll be something like $30 for 30 seconds with one revision, $40 for two, so forth and so on. So I did
Love it.
that, and then I also got a theme song made.
Oh,
That
sweet.
was probably $30, $40, you know.
I love that. So you have your intro and a theme song for each of your podcasts that you put on
Yep.
your social media.
Yep. And then you can use, and it takes a while to get the gist of it. Oh
Yeah.
man, what is it called? StreamYard.
What is it?
StreamYard.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. You can put your, if you want to get a background made, you can have that in there. You can have your intro in there, whatever music you want in there. And then it'll look like this. And then on the bottom, you'll have your controls and the waiting room. And it'll be a small video of whomever's in there. And then you can click them and add them to the stage. And then they pop up right here. It records onto the cloud. Yeah, once you get the gist of it, it's super simple. You just
I've
gotta
seen that.
play with it a few times, and yeah, and it's free for a
Nice.
certain amount of hours. I think it's like for 3 hours worth of content. That's
Yeah.
plenty. You get your interview in, you download it, and now you can delete it off of the cloud, and you're good.
Wow. Great. I'm gonna check it out
Yeah,
in all my free time that I have. No.
that's a
No,
thing.
it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Absolutely. And I love the social media, all of that stuff. Um, I kind of like it when you go onto somebody's channel and you see like the the first things that they were posting, and then it gets better and better as they go and they learn. And I don't like it to be so professional right off the bat.
Day
It's
one,
like,
right? Yeah.
"Ah, this guy's right where I am. I know exactly what he's going through." You add little pieces as it goes, so that's good.
Yep. So yeah, that's still stuff you can play around with and add on as time goes on for a
Great,
few bucks. It's nothing.
cool. Well, I'll just introduce myself and then I'll introduce you. And I think I've got something I can say. This is Lou Rosado, and he and I connected really well at a networking event a few weeks ago, and I've had a couple of meetings with him, and he's spreading the word how to become more financially literate, and just supporting his community. And so here's Lou with all the good things that he wants to talk about today. Do you want anything else that I
That's
can
perfect, man.
introduce you? Sounds good.
That's perfect.
Perfect. All right. Well, here we go then. Hello, everyone. This is Darren Morris. I am with Lou Rosado today. Lou and I met at a great networking event with the Vell Institute a few weeks ago, and he was talking about new ways that he's supporting his community with financial literacy, and I was really into everything that he was saying. It was very informative, and I wanted to spread the word with my people as well. So, Lou, welcome, and I will let you introduce yourself too.
Appreciate you, sir. Yeah, that was fun. At
It
Vel,
was
it really was. To Whenever you can get into an environment like that. So the Vel Institute, for those who are not aware, is veteran entrepreneurs and leaders. It's put on at a college. and it's free to all vets, free to come in to learn and to grow in a myriad of ways. They're always putting on different types of functions, always, contributing to the veteran community in a myriad of different ways. And I am the director for the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So Bell Institute reached out to us and said, we want to do something for financial literacy. There's quite a few financial advisors in the chamber. There's one, his name's Michael Goodrich. He and we're like this.
Yeah.
We do the same thing, just in different ways. I handle more on the personal finance side and small businesses. Mike is all business and a little bit of personal. So we bounce ideas off of each other. We're great referral partners for each other. So when this opportunity came up, it was a no-brainer. Let's make it a two-part deal. I'll start with finances 101, because if your home finances are in disarray, your professional finances are just going to be that times 10, times 100, right?
Yes. That was one of the main things I saw when you first started with that budget. And it's amazing to me. I've been doing a budget for years. And before I did that budget, I mean, I can't even imagine how I was keeping track of any of the money that was coming in or out. I wasn't keeping track of that. And when you do your budget, you're able to see how much you're spending on things you probably don't need, or those things you're spending money on are not helping you get to your goal.
Things you weren't even aware of sometimes. I don't know if oh, excuse me, I was flying around. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but back when Hurricane Katrina came through, gas, that was the first time in my experience that, that gas shot up the way it did. It went to almost $5 a gallon in where I was at in New Jersey at the time. And budget's getting tighter and tighter. And it's like, I don't understand. Why is this, where's our money?
Hmm.
And it
Yep.
wasn't until I started looking at the bank statements and realized that our 7-passenger V8, Ford Expedition or a Ford Explorer that we had, it was just killing us. And it's because I wasn't, yeah, no, we spend about 200 a month. 200 became five, became six, and I was not aware because I wasn't monitoring because I didn't keep a budget.
It's so true. So true. And things can, especially these days with the prices rising with inflation, and if you're not watching that constantly, I think every time I go through my monthly expenses, I find something on there that I have to double check and see. I don't even know what that charge is because it's not listed
Yeah.
correctly on my bank statement. And so I'm going in there and checking and seeing it. And there's quite a few times where I have um, either gotten a refund on something that shouldn't have been charged. I've been charged twice for a couple of things. So if you're not watching that, you could be losing a lot of money per year.
And subscriptions are huge. You get the free 90 days. Who's going to remember 3 months from now to go and go to the website, go to the bottom where it says click here to unsubscribe, and
Yep.
next thing you know, you're paying $9.95 a month and you're not even recognizing it. You didn't even know it's happening. God only knows how long it's been happening, you know.
That's how a lot of those people make a lot of money off of that too. So
Absolutely.
very
Absolutely.
important.
So yeah,
Yeah,
budgeting is
exactly.
without an accurate budget,
Yep.
it's going to be very, very difficult, very, very difficult. And everyone says, yeah, do a budget. Okay, well, how?
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the thing.
yeah,
When it comes to finances, everyone knows you got to make more than what you spend, right? Of course. Well,
yes.
are you monitoring this, right? How much are you investing? How much should you be investing? How much are you saving? How much should you be saving? Right? And then the area that we tend to kind of muddy up, the needs and the wants,
Hmm.
right? You need a pair of sneakers because you're going to start jogging. Okay. Do you need $350 sneakers?
Probably not.
Right? Probably not. Right. So,
Especially if
yeah.
you're running around here because it gets muddy and they're going to be dirty immediately. So you might as well just go get
And
something
then there's
a
that.
little
Right.
cheaper. Yes, exactly. That's so true. We live in one of those a consumer-driven economy, and it is pretty amazing once you start looking at what you're spending your money on. It's really a lot of it to me was not important things, and a lot of people have a big Starbucks account too, a big Starbucks
Yeah, for
coffee
sure.
account, right? And that's how Starbucks stays open. I appreciate it. I drink Starbucks every day, but I don't have to go and get the frou-frou lattes every single time. I can do a $3 coffee and I'll be fine.
And be good. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so the first step is getting your budget under control. What's after
Actually, I
that?
gotta tell you, that's actually the second step, right? The,
Oh,
the the
really?
first step
Okay,
is it's up here
gotcha.
and it's in here, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the area that I live in for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, in order to understand that, you have to understand how I got to where I am as it pertains to being a financial planner. And it was my recognition that I was financially illiterate, and I was
Yep.
40 and I
Yep.
didn't know what an IRA was and how a 401k worked. And yeah, I'm putting money into it. And I know it's for retirement, period. That's that, right?
Yeah.
But taking ownership of that, accepting that, and then seeking out the help,
Yep.
that is all first. That's all before, because there's the level of embarrassment sometimes and shame that comes with it, as if you're born and you are anointed and you understand the dollar and how it works,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's not a
Yep.
thing. It's not like you turn 18 and I understand money, right? But we all operate as if that were the case.
Isn't that funny that we spend so much time in junior high, high school, learning about triangles and cosines and algebra, but they don't teach us anything about money, right? Nothing about investing, nothing about how to save, nothing about that. It's really a situation where if we don't know what we don't know, it's really going to hurt us.
And then when that's your foundation, right? Again, as you continue to grow, right now you get married and you have kids and you've got a mortgage. Well, you've built all of this on bad habits
Yeah.
sometimes, more often than not, and the credit cards and things are happening that are hindering you from growing. And it is your normal,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
It's all you know.
Yes.
So once you realize that, wait, it doesn't have to be this way,
Yeah.
you have to be strong enough to say, okay, can you teach me? Yes, I'm 41 years old now and I don't understand my finances. Can you teach me? Once we
Yep.
break through that barrier,
Mhm.
now we're going to start talking about a budget. Yeah, for sure.
I love that part. Yes, it's almost like you got to be willing to be able to be willing to learn how to do financial planning, and it's kind of a touchy subject to a lot of people.
Very much so. Very much
Yeah,
so. Yeah. Yeah,
there's a
50% is
lot
a
of
number.
emotion involved.
Ex and when you take it like me, right? For example, my parents divorced when I was 5. My dad left when I was 6. Shortly thereafter, mom lost everything. And for a year and a half, we were living in an abandoned house, right? No
Yeah,
heat, no hot water, no electricity. So you take that, and now you fast forward, I'm 15, 16, 17 years old, making $100 a week, at a part-time job after school. I would get a $60 paycheck. I worked in the mall, my first job, selling clothes in the mall. I get a
yep,
$60 paycheck and I'd go to the arcade and blow 30 bucks
exactly.
because I can now. And I remember being that little kid walking past the arcade and mom not having $2 to give to me to go and play some video games in there.
Yep,
Right. So
yep.
now I have my own money.
Hmm.
Fast forward, what does that look like when you're 27 and when you're 47, right? That video game becomes hobbies like, yeah, go and buy another firearm and buy a car and just buy things, just buying, accumulating things. It's all about
Yes.
behaviors. I don't care how much money you make, it's about the behaviors,
Hmm.
right? And those
Absolutely.
drivers. That's the area I love to focus on.
Yeah. So when people come and they are asking for your program to enter into your program, and
Mhm.
they're like, you know what, Lou, I've got I've got the need and the want to learn how to make my finances better for me and my family. Okay, we're past the initial, all right, good, you're there, you've got the willingness to learn. What's the next thing that they would do if they come to you? Are you scheduling an appointment with them face to face?
It will more often than not. It's via Zoom, just for convenience on their part. I have no problem. I actually enjoy face to face. But yeah, just for convenience sake, it's generally I can easily 90% via Zoom. And subconsciously, the subcon or the effort on my part is to create that safe space, that
Yeah,
judgment-free zone. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I don't care what the answers are. You're not going to be judged,
yeah.
right? But I can't just say that. I have to make the person feel that,
Hmm.
right? And there's, I'm just that's just it's a blessing that I have. So this is the vehicle that I choose to use it in, right? To
Sure.
to to
And you've
connect
got
like that. And
families that come, probably couples that come, and I would assume you would probably want them on the same call together because
yes,
there's so, yeah, there's so
yes,
much emotion involved, especially when there's a couple trying to merge finances or maybe things aren't going great, even within a marriage or relationship, but a lot of that has to do with financial touch points as well.
very much so, very much so. I will when we have that initial conversation, I explain it's a two-way interview, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to ask me a ton of questions. And the objective is by the end of this meeting, for me to have an understanding of everything that you need,
Hmm.
for you to understand how I function. If
Hmm.
that's a match, great. If not, I know where to send you because I
Hmm.
know other advisors that work in a myriad of different ways. So if we're not a match, that's fine. That's not my number one priority. My number one priority is to get you the assistance that you're looking for, whether it's just investment management or everything full comprehensive financial planning, right? Are you the ideal client for me and am I the right advisor for you?
Hmm.
And to help them relax, essentially, I start with what I call a brain dump. Why are we here?
Hmm.
Why'd you reach
Yeah,
out? And then bam, it starts to flow and they find their stride and yeah, and we go from there.
I love that. That brain dump probably gets everything out on the table. Doesn't matter what you say. Let's just get it all out on the table and see how we can start making things better today.
That's it.
I love
That's it.
because there's a bunch. I mean, there's probably as many ways to invest and as many ways to save and start changing your finances as there are people in the world, right? I mean, it can be so specific on each particular person because one person might be really way in debt and that's what you got to work on first, or somebody might have some savings that they don't know what to do with and maybe it's just sitting in a savings account. So I can see that getting everything out on the plate, making a huge area for whatever's happening in their finances, just make it available and then we'll start working together to make it better.
That's it. So I'm done typing when you're done speaking. Go. I'm just beating it up, bullet points and bullet points and bullet points. And I want to make sure throughout the consultation, whatever their, if their number one concern is, hey, I've got $200,000 worth of student loan debt. I don't want my kids to have that.
Yes.
Okay. Now I understand that's one thing I need to make sure that they understand that I do is college funds, 529s. This is how it works. Right. So
That
yeah, that brain dump is huge.
great. So after we get that done, what's another step in the process, would you say? Like way down the road when we're like, okay, we've got everything situated, we got the budget under control. What's kind of the graduate part of your program where they're like, hey, we're on track, we're doing really good. Um, how do people decide what investments they want to invest in, that kind of thing?
I break everything down into segments. Every subject matter has a different zoom. Sometimes we may combine the two if something doesn't necessarily apply to you. Maybe, for example, I've got one client, zero debt, owns everything outright. Well, he's
Nice.
worked his way up to that. He's not so much a Dave Ramsey fan. It's not that kind of a thing. He's just and just continues to build, and he'll borrow to build more. Right? Good
Mm-hmm.
debt is what we call that.
Mm-hmm.
But the debt management conversation with that gentleman was this long, right? There's
Yeah.
just not too much going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I've had other clients come on, 8 different credit cards, right? So we need
Mm-hmm.
to discuss all of this in depth, granular, right? So that debt management conversation is going to be the better part of an hour.
Yep,
But
for sure.
nonetheless, we will discuss clients' net worth and cash flow,
Mm-hmm.
debt management. Life insurance is generally 2 meetings because the
Mm-hmm.
first one I'm going to spend teaching you all the 5 different types of life insurance, how much they cost, why is this one $50 a month and this one
Mm-hmm.
500 a month, but they both are only $100,000 worth of coverage. Well, this
Mm-hmm.
is how they should be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll circle back for a second life insurance meeting where I'm going to ask you, right, now that you understand the differences between term, index, variable, and how they all work, what do you think you need?
Yep.
I don't sell. I'm a horrible salesperson. I
Yep.
educate.
Yeah.
I give you all of the information that you can possibly hold, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're going to make decisions from there. And then we'll continue on as time goes on. We'll do the same thing for investments. And all the while, your money status quo. You're not buying
Mm-hmm.
anything. You're not investing anything. You are how you met me is how you're going to continue to live until we have all of these conversations.
Yep.
Then at the tail end is when we've built your financial plan. We review everything. We're going to get this much insurance. We're going to invest this much in this fund and that much in that fund. And we're going to open up this account, so forth and so on. We're all on the same page.
Yep.
Now we go to work. And by
Love it.
that time, you're telling me, all right, yeah, do I want, you know what? I don't want I want the Roth IRA instead. I'm going to max out my, you're telling me all of this because
Yeah.
now you're educated and I don't have to explain anything to you. You may have some questions about it, but we're speaking the same language now, and which is the goal.
So great. Well, I really love what you're doing, Lou. Out there helping everybody in the community. And if they want to get a hold of you, I'm going to post, of course, your contact information below your video here. But I think your QR code up
Yes.
above your head right there is a good way to get a hold of you too. They can just scan that and it'll
Yeah,
get you.
that's a direct link to my calendar. So
Great.
they can find me on there. Admin at meetwithlou.com is my email address.
Perfect.
Meetwithlou.com is a shortcut to my calendar as well as the QR code.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time today,
you.
Lou. And I look forward to growing our friendship and our relationship together as well. And
Likewise, for
I
sure.
really appreciate it. Thank you so
As do I,
much.
sir. Always
All
good.
right. Cut.
And
Good
that, as
job.
they say, is that.
Yes. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Well, this is great. If you will send me that video, I will cut and paste some stuff and make it better. We'll just cut the first half off or first part off. And that's it, man. I appreciate what you're doing, and